just some questions. We're gonna kick it around a little bit. We got one college student on. Do I have one college student? I have one college student. And then I got a bunch of high school students, and I got some middle school students as well. And actually, the purpose of this is to give you guys the opportunity to exercise your voice. Y'all come to church a lot, and a lot of times y'all don't say nothing, but y'all be thinking a whole lot. I want to figure out a little bit about what y'all be thinking. Yeah, I came tonight to find out the truth. We won't delve in too deep. We'll definitely remain respectful in all that we do. But your voice really matters, and so we want to make that known tonight. So I'm gonna just put a few questions out. I just want to hear from you guys. Let me ask you guys this: what has been your most challenging thing to deal with during this pandemic? What's the most challenging thing? You can answer or not. Some of you all have some insight. I want to hear what's been the most challenging thing in the pandemic.
Oh, just speak, or like we gotta raise hands?
Yeah, just speak. We just conversing.
Oh,
no one say conversate tonight. It's not a real word.
I think my most challenging thing is like just working on myself, like understanding who I am and having self-confidence in everything. So like I know with some things I could be confident, but it was just basically a lot of working on what I'm not confident on, working on finding better ways to talk to people, or just finding ways to improve myself and feeling like I wasn't enough. So improving myself, that was something I worked hard on so I could feel like I was, or I am.
Wow. That's for sure. Somebody else.
I feel like the most challenging thing probably would be like school and like work, because it's been a lot of stuff that's like different. Like 1 minute you have to do stuff on a computer, then the next minute you have to go to the school to do stuff. But then it's like some people might not want to go because, the whole pandemic and things. So I say definitely schoolwork.
Wow.
I think for me,
I'm sorry.
You're good. I think for me, it's remaining sociable, because I know I'm an introverted person. So it's like trying to come out my shell and not like stay to myself was like really big for me, because talking to people and not being like, as my mom says, antisocial is kind of hard. So like being able to have the skills to carry a conversation and be more open to talking to different people was like a big thing for me.
Somebody else. What was the toughest part of the pandemic?
Well, I know from when I was little, I didn't used to talk as much to people, and I was just starting to come out my bubble a little bit. And when the pandemic hit, I started going back into my bubble, and I'm just coming back out again. Like, it's hard to get used to people when you already gone back into your bubble like twice when you stay to yourself. But it's getting easier.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, for me, I went through it during the pandemic. I started the pandemic out in high school, a senior in high school, and the present day I'm a sophomore in college. So between then and now, I was tried a lot. My emotions were high, my mental state was all over the place. But one thing I've remained was grounded. I learned to stay grounded in my word and in fasting prayer. And it was a lot. I want to say I lost more than I gained during this pandemic. I had my days where I was just like, this is cool, but in my days, like, I honestly didn't know what the next day would bring. And so, especially, you as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, now I'm a 20-year-old, certain things I wanted to experience that I can't experience. And so, I wouldn't say I have to live with it, but I had to come to grips with the fact that, you know, I'm not like everyone else. I'm a peculiar person. So there's some things I had to endure, but I believe it didn't happen just because. And so yeah, just like Jaden said, every day I'm just perfecting myself to be a better me.
That's good. That's good.
This is great insight, folks. This is
Yeah.
great insight. Kate, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Original question. What has it been like for you coming through this pandemic?
Probably rough, not being able to socialize with my friends.
Yeah. You have a lot of your friends in the schools, and so you guys don't see each other as much. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Got you. So here's my question: how is your faith walk? Because we all profess to be believers, or at least I hope we do. Is your faith stronger or weaker in this pandemic? What do you think it is, and why? What do you think?
I'll go first. I will say my faith is way stronger. Like many I was born and raised in the church. So as a young child, what was instilled in us was prayer. I remember, there was a time where Gates used to have shut-in prayer. And I remember one time we wouldn't leave. We would come in like sundown Friday evening. It wouldn't leave till sunrise, Saturday morning. And so though we wouldn't partake in the prayer, we would just be in the atmosphere of seeing people, bombard heaven on whatever they need. And just to see, their faith being exercised was just like, I'll never forget, we would literally wake up out of our sleep just to hear, them crying out. So as I got older, I experienced different things. I endured different things. And, one thing that never left me was how to pray. Many things came and gone, but one thing that stayed with me is how to pray and my faith in God, because faith is a fruit of the spirit, and without faith it's impossible to please him.
Yes.
And so one thing, I went for what I knew. I prayed, I got in my word, I fasted. Like, one thing about me, I love to eat. And so, turning over my plate was kind of but it's not necessarily focused on that, but just getting yourself focused in God's presence. But I'll never forget one situation where I literally, went for what I knew, and that was to trust God no matter what I was feeling, no matter what I was going through, because I endured a lot even in college. But I just thank God that my parents instilled in us what to do when there wasn't anything else to do. So I will say in summary that my faith has increased over these past 2 years.
Very good.
That's great.
Glad to hear it. Somebody else, faith is a little stronger, a little weaker, about the same?
I'll say it's not the same, but it's gotten better. Like, it's gotten better from what it used to be. And basically what Michael was saying, like I knew how to pray. I've always known how to pray. Been pretty good at it. But I got away from it like a lot, just because of other things. But I got away from it and kind of forgot how to. And it was one night where I couldn't even say the Lord's Prayer, and I just broke down because it was like I understood that was a problem, and I had to get back into it and gone back to praying every night before games, matches, just to help me in things at school. Like, I got way back into it, got my friends into praying with me, my girlfriend, all that. Like, just been able to help them and myself better by working on that. And, yeah.
That's right. Prayer. With the girlfriend too.
Yeah.
On the phone before sleep, you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Real quick.
Which is good. Somebody else.
I guess I'll go.
All right.
Just say for myself, I know like 2020 was hard on everybody, I feel like especially emotionally, it was hard for me. I feel like I lost a lot of like friends, and like I know like the devil really tried to attack me mentally and emotionally and put me in a place where I thought I came out of. It was like trying to come right back. So I know, I think I was really weak in my prayer. Like I knew how to pray, but I didn't know. I wasn't taking the time to listen and really take the guidance from the prayer that I was praying. And so I know like in 2021 for me, I really took the time to really focus back on God and pray more and really get back in my word. Because I know, people can pray for you, but at the end of the day, you want it for yourself. You have to want the change
Yeah.
for yourself and really have the motivation. Because like as much as other people can pray, if you don't want it, it's not going to change. Because I know you have to submit yourself to God. And so if I wasn't willing to open my heart and really go for the change that I wanted in my life, it wasn't going to work. So I think it's a lot stronger now, and that I'm more serious in my walk for God. And I feel like, for my age, that was a really good thing because I don't want to go and get older and not know where to go.
That's what's up.
Wow. Ooh. Somebody else? Anybody else want to tap in on that?
I would say my faith has gotten stronger because a lot has happened, like a lot of stuff has happened, but there's been good stuff that came from that bad stuff, and things that I thought was impossible happened. Things that I thought we couldn't come back from happened. We came back. All the prayers we made and we kept consistent with it, and everything progressively improved. So I say it got stronger.
Yeah. Yes, nephew.
Love it. So my next question is, how can the church help you in this season? How can the church, and I'm an elder in the church, so you can shoot it all at me. And I want to know, and let me preface this before you guys give me the answers. I know this is going to be great. The reason I'm asking that question is because sometimes we as the church can feel like we know to tell you what you need. And a lot of times we're right. But because you're walking your day, you're walking your walk every day, there may be some things that we're missing. And I want to make sure that we know that, because y'all see what no one sees. Y'all go to schools now like no one goes to school. No one went to school. I graduated high school in '98. Okay, most of y'all weren't born in '98. I mean, I'm pretty sure none of y'all were born in '98, right? So when I ask how can we as a church help, what I'm really saying is put us in your shoes, and then knowing what the church stands for, knowing what the church can do. Talk back to me.
I would just say continuing to, like, I feel like I do a good job at being there for us, or like helping and doing what needs to be done for us. But I would just say continue doing that. And if it needs to be more than that, then like being on people and like actually looking out and trying to find ways to get out to us and talk to us. Because like sometimes you might need that, like someone other than your parents to talk to, or someone other than your friends to talk to, that's like wiser and understands what's happening, that what they've been through also. So like just like how I'll text you occasionally or you'll text me and we'll have a conversation like that. I just can do things like that and talk to each other after church and just being able to communicate.
Yeah. Okay. Micah has a list. I don't.
Wow. Just in the summary, just value what you have sitting in your pews. Just my sister plays the organ when she's interested in the organ. Honestly, you can't find that in you really can't find that, and cultivate that gift. With me and my siblings, me, Richard, and Destiny, we were born and raised in the church. So, we sung in the choir, we played instruments, we did just about every area in the church. And I'll never forget it was a particular situation. This was years ago. We were just small kids where we felt like we had to compete with, that we had to compete. And it was kind of, at the time, it was like, you know what, it was like, okay, but, now we got older, it was like, and people around us kind of like played into that when we were kind of just the second next best thing. I mean, the competition wasn't, a thing. We just wanted to serve God. And so I would say now with the generation, it goes beyond just singing, playing, some may have an eye for, graphics with the vision for the church. Some may want to usher, some may want to preach. So I would say, cultivate that gift and not just, use them on, when it's time for the youth, use them, each Sunday. And it doesn't matter if it's, them being in the front or them being in the back, just use them and take time out to, listen to them, because they have stories. They sit back and observe. And like Kyle said, I have a list, but the sum of it is just to value your youth. Okay,
I like that. Find a way to value the youth. Yeah. I think we do a decent job of that, but I'm checking. I'm taking this list and I'm checking it twice.
Absolutely. Not just, within Gates of Faith or Richmond South. I'm talking about just the church. You have kids that were literally born and raised in the church, and when they get of age, they left, not because they don't believe in God, not because, this person said that. It's because they felt like their voice wasn't heard, their gifts weren't. And I had to tell my siblings, I was like, stay grounded. I said, your gifts and your talents will make room for you. And not just for them, but for, the panel and anyone who's watching. Your gifts and your talents will make room for you. So stay faithful to whatever God has called you to, because, it may be, they may not, understand or, want to get with what you have to say, because I knew what it felt like to not have my voice to be heard. But you know what? I just was like, I took it to God in prayer. And now I just let my gift speak for me.
Okay. I like it. Somebody else, talk to me. You're not just talking to me, you're talking to everybody who's listening, but you can hit me as many times as you want to. Somebody else.
I can, being a youth leader of Victory, I know the young people at our church, they just want more understanding from leadership, from elders, pastors, missionaries. They just want more understanding, and I get it. Meet them where they are, and then they'll listen to us.
I'm so glad you said that.
Huh?
I said, I'm so glad you said that, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's like, from what I get from Victory's young people, we will listen to you as long as you will listen to us and understand. Mm-hmm. Like, young people talk and they talk. And the reason why you see young people bucking or acting out of character, because they're not being heard. It's like, we're talking, but you're not listening. We're talking, but we see no change. You're talking and you say, we're going to work on it. But when a month goes by, then 3 months goes by, I need you to understand that when I talk to you, I need you now. That's what the young people, and I hate saying the young people, I don't even like saying millennials, this generation. Yeah. Jay, bro, they are smarter than we were at this age.
Because you face crazier stuff than we've ever faced. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Y'all seeing some stuff we ain't never seen.
It's like we saw it, but they have perfected it 10 times greater.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell Leah, the way I raise my children now, yes, I did take things from my parents, but I'm raising my children spiritually and naturally for the world today. And in order for me to do that, I got to understand my children, the youth at the church, the youth at the grocery store. If you see a young man and he's acting wild and bucking and doing this, understand why he's doing it. I'm learning now, Jay Bro, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm learning The generation of today don't go to them with, get on your knees. Jesus can do this. And Jesus said, no, listen to them first, hear their cry, give them resources, and then feed them spiritually and naturally all at the same time. It's got to be balanced. You feel me?
Yep. And that's a lot of what we're doing tonight, because I really want to keep and I don't want this to be the last session. So y'all,
Oh, I'm loving this. Y'all
we
like
coming,
this?
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
coming back because your voice really matters. We say they're the church of the future. Y'all the church are right now.
Oh, right
And
now.
and if you believe in this God that we serve, we need your innovation. We need your ideas. We need all of that. And
Yeah.
so, and we need to hear your voice, because again, you all on the front line at this point.
Yes.
I'm gonna give a few more opportunities for anyone else who wanted to answer that question. What do you need from the church? I've heard understanding. I've heard value. I've heard support. I've heard prayer. Somebody else, or are we kind of covering it?
I think everyone kind of hit on what I was going to say, but I really agree with Mike. It's not that we aren't valued. It's just the listening aspect of it and kind of incorporating us and just how the structure of the church is.
Yeah.
Just so like, if we're working with you, we can lead more of us to the church and kind of just work with everybody to make sure that our whole generation is prayed up and strong in our faith. Because like you said, what we go through now is like out of this world.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to go unprepared and have my friends or peers or other people I go to church with unprepared for what the devil of the world may throw at us. So I think if we have a strong foundation in ourselves and the church listen and kind of just let us take a part in planning and just different things in the church, I think we will have more of us in the church and have a more willingness to work and to listen and get the guidance from the older generation, so we won't make the same mistakes or be unwavering in our faith.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Janae, because when I meant my value the young people, we often, not just in the church but just in general, we have a habit of saying I appreciate you, and words mean everything, but actions is a whole different, because you can say I appreciate you, man, and then like your actions don't really prove it.
Right, show it.
Yeah, show it. And I'm not saying shower me with money, with this or that, but just actually like value, appreciate, But like what Janae said, I think a lot of times we don't want a lot. We just want to be understood, heard, valued, like we shared. And so what she was saying was, with our voice, we feel like, we can bring not just the next generation, but our generation back, not to church, but to God. Because I'm now in a situation where the church that I'm at here in Norfolk are now asking me, to help with the youth department. I'm just like, that's kind of not my thing. But I mean, if God gets the glory, I'm all for it. And so it's just, look at what you have, really evaluate what you have sitting in your ministry, in your pews, because like it's in there, but just take the time, cultivate, and you'll see the results if you're willing to put the time in.
Yeah, like everyone's saying, I feel like it is an issue with like understanding. Cause like as I've seen, like some kids would want to do something, but they will have to do something else that they've been assigned to. So then since they don't want to do it, it's like half-heartedly doing the work. So then it's like not that much productivity in the church. So I feel like if people would listen to what we have to say and what we want to do, there'll be like more of a chance the kids will love church.
Yep. Hey, these are some awesome young people, Jake. Yeah, these young people.
I wrote a book about this. The reason why you got to have these conversations so you can figure out what you're doing in your ministry. Shameless plug, absolutely shameless. Anybody else?
Can I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love these questions. Can I add one more thing? I'm gonna be quiet.
You got
I'm
60 seconds.
okay. I'm glad what he said. This generation doesn't like church. I would say, I can speak for me, my siblings, Jade and Janae, and other hosts of kids who were born and raised in the church. We grew to love the church. But as this time of age, this pandemic, I'm tired of playing church. I'm a church kid through and through, coming to church, program after program, service after service. I'm tired of, leaving the same way I came. Where now I'm just, I want to experience a move of God. And I think a lot of times, and I hope I don't get in trouble with this, but a lot of times the youth are tired of seeing the games, the manipulative games. Like, if you do this, God will do that. Try to play we want, John Hannah said it best. We want God, we just don't want the games. If that makes sense. We just want, if you can help us get us delivered. If you want to help us get healed, let us get healed. But to go just to get to God is kind of dumb.
It's like you telling me that I gotta jump over a river, cross a bridge, and do some more. When it's just like, I just want to know how I can get there in the quickest way. Like my dad say, you want to find out how to get somewhere from point A to point B, and it's like in some cases, it's like I gotta go from A to B to C to D. Like, I'm still not going where I need to be, and especially at the point where it's like he said, you always in that place and in the atmosphere, but it's like when you listen and it's just like, bro, this not helping me for what I really need. It's not like he really talking to me, so it's like I don't even want to be here no more. And it's not like we hate the church. It's just the fact that, like, at times we feel like y'all not understanding where we coming from. So it's like when y'all talking, y'all not really relating to us. It's just like y'all saying what y'all did or what y'all heard from when y'all were our age. And it's like, you're not helping me get from point A to point B. You just talking, to be honest.
Then sometimes it be that kids don't want to speak up because they think it's wrong.
True.
And that's a major piece, because a lot of times dialogue is necessary so we can have feedback, so that we can hear, are we landing? Is when we say this, does this make sense? To Jaden's point, and even to Najee's point, are we getting to you what you really need for the moment? And so that's kind of why I asked, what can the church do in this moment? I mean, like, we have some of the same terminology, but it doesn't mean the same things. Bullying in my day didn't do what bullying in y'all's day does.
Yes, sir.
Like, for real, like,
no, sir.
It wasn't even the same type of thing. Like, yeah, it was the same concept, but the seriousness of the impact, and folks, young people taking their lives because of pressure and anxiety and all that stuff. We want to be relevant in the moment. You know what I mean? And we don't always know that. And so what I propose is that we have an opportunity to come together and do this more often, just to hear where we are. Young people will always be my heart. I'll be old and gray, but they're young. I'm a young people. I'm a youth leader from the heart. So that's going to always be our push. And so we need that level of feedback. I thought Storm was getting ready. Storm, did you have something to say? She was getting ready to say something, I thought. Because I have one more question, and then I'm gonna let y'all stretch your imaginations, and then we're gonna wrap this up because I'm gonna be on here all night. All right, last question. I want y'all to stretch it out. I want y'all, and you got 60 seconds to do this. So you can't do everything. 60 seconds. What I want you to do, if you could do your own church, what would it look like? Not Rachel. Not Rachel. Everybody except Rachel.
No, that would
If
be.
you could make your own church, tell me, what would it look like? You got 60 seconds. Y'all say, wow, I gave you all that power. Y'all, look at your wheels turning.
Come on, nephew. Micah, somebody.
I say, like, I have a very, very light-skinned girlfriend. So when I went to church with her, it was like it was quick. It was quick. They did the singing, they did the praying, the teaching, the all that. But I would just say, I'm not saying that long is a problem, but I'm saying just quicker. Just be able to teach us. Just be able to teach us. You be able to teach us in that span of time so we can learn it, grasp it, and then go. And then just be able to a lot more, I'm not gonna say functions, but a lot more ways to just connect with each other and with the adults and other people our age and being able to talk amongst everybody. But that's really it. I don't got nothing
Nice.
else.
Nice. Okay. Timeliness and connectivity, fellowship. Y'all taking notes out there, I hope. Somebody else. Who else? Come on.
They don't want no church, Jay.
I gave 60-second church.
Well, for me, I'll say it'll be centered around prayer. You know, yeah, prayer. And not just, hearing your favorite, elder intercessor praying, but literally all generations praying, from the pastor on down to the youngest person that can speak. I would definitely be big on evangelizing, getting out and tell of the goodness. And I would be big on I have a heart for choir music, so getting a choir together. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I like that part out.
Yeah, he don't have time for music. Right to the point. Jay,
Nah, I left that out.
Let's get to the point. What y'all singing for?
Mike is like really on my wavelength. I was gonna say events, especially like getting out to the community and kind of just spreading the word, because that's what I see all the time with my parents. And it's like I kind of feel like that's a big thing for all of us, because God wants us all to follow him. And so if we're not sharing his goodness and everything with others, what are we really doing? And then especially prayer and teaching how to pray, not just saying a prayer and going about your day. It's about listening and really putting yourself in the right mindset and taking the guidance of prayer. And then music, because that's my whole life. especially getting music and kind of still sticking with the classics, but still jazzing it up so it can relate to everyone in a way so nobody feels left out in the worship and everything, and especially in dancing. I would love to see dancers come back. That's just my own little thing. And youth, I would love to work with younger kids.
Cool. Somebody else. I want to hear about your church. Tell me about your church.
I agree with what Micah said. Like a big thing would be for me is like reaching out to everybody and getting everyone involved.
Yeah. Outreach. Yep.
Right. Michaela, you got a church? What's your church look like?
I would probably say the same thing, like getting everyone involved.
Everybody involved. I like it. Intergenerational synergy. That's that word I use. Leah, you got it. What would your church be? What would your church look like?
I don't like how you try to secretly plug the book in there. You know what I'm saying? You had to put the book in there real quick. You gotta get that bread. We gotta get the bread. I understand.
Listen, I wrote that book with you. Let me tell you something though. Hold on, Leah. I wrote that book with you guys in mind though, for real.
You did.
I really did. Because I feel like we need to hear y'all's voice, because we have whole meetings about youth and don't ask youth.
Make it make sense.
Got youth conferences, youth panels, and ain't nobody on there young.
Yeah. So don't worry about the plug. Go ahead, Leah. I'm sorry.
Probably what everybody's been saying, like getting everybody involved, and also outreach, and also like listening to the youth, like doing what they want, helping them with what they need, but also reaching out to the adults as well.
Mhm. So you got to get it from both sides, the top of the generation as far as the bottom generations too.
Yeah,
I hear it. I love it. Storm, tell me about your church, your imaginary church.
Like mostly everybody said, they would like to have like most of the generations in the church, like that they can, like the youngest generation could help out with doing stuff and also have like things to do for the younger generation and for the elders and everybody else in the church.
I like it.
I like
love it.
that.
I love it. I love it. Folks, I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. As a matter of fact, we're down to the end of our questions for now. We're gonna come back next time. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna involve some more people because I love to hear this feedback. Feedback is so important when we're trying to do ministry, and we don't want to just do it and guess and maybe we'll hit and maybe we won't. We need to know exactly where we are, and when we're dealing with our young people, this helps us. So for our leaders in in our district, and even if the jurisdiction is tuned in, here are a few of just some representatives from Gates of Faith Ministries and from Victory Family Worship Center, from Total Man Ministries. We've come together just to kind of tell you, at least for a small sample size, of what the youth of Richmond South District are looking for. And it's amazing that some of the themes crossed. And so even though we're moving into different areas and different arenas, we're having the same conversations in the same areas of need. And so, listen, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I want to thank you all for being a part of what we've got going. We're praying for you, as we always should. But let me tell you something else. We're listening. We're listening.
Definitely.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you all immensely for this time. Y'all do this with us again next time?
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. All right. All right. And back to you.